Now that you know where to play AnarKings, you might be asking, how do I play AnarKings? How does the game start? How do I win? What's the objective? And this brief video will cover that and provide a few tips and tricks before you get into your next game. The short version is that AnarKings is a MOBA with denial mechanics, where instead of buying individual unit power through items, you buy army units and abilities to increase your fighting capability in your goal to destroy the enemy Nexus. If those words mean something to you, feel free to jump into AnarKings right away, and you can wait for the upcoming Heroes and Units video. If, however, that needs a little more explanation, then stay tuned and I'll go over that. The goal of every game of AnarKings is to destroy your opponent's Nexus, the building that you're seeing on your screen right now. Both you and your opponent's team will spawn with a Nexus, and the destruction of your opponent's Nexus and the preservation of your own is the primary thing that must be considered before any strategic plan or tactical decision is executed. Any time that the Nexus takes damage, it temporarily loses armor, making it strong and hardy at first with its hit points and armor, but capable of being destroyed under severe assault, as you see here. One of the first decisions you will make in AnarKings is the selection of your hero. There are 6 available heroes, each with their own strengths and weaknesses, capable of attacking the enemy Nexus and helping you defend your own. The selection of the hero is important, but not restrictive. Your team can have even multiple copies of the same hero, and there's no requirement that the hero be unique throughout the game. So pick something that you find comfortable with. I'm going to choose, for instance, the soldier. And there we go, there he is. After a brief interlude from the selection of your initial hero, there will be a spawning of 6 units, 3 of them melee and 3 of them range, that will begin on both sides of 2 pathways. This bottom pathway, right here, and then, slightly north of it, this upper pathway. These units that are spawning are often called in games like this minions, and this spawning of these groups of minions together creates a pattern that is called a minion wave. Controlling the minion wave is essential for making sure that your team is in a dominant position, for reasons that we'll get over into in the next video. But now that you're in the lane, what do? Well, if you're nearby enemy minions, whether they're spawned in the wave or purchased by your opponent, and they die, you will receive experience. This cumulative experience will help your hero level up, gaining more and more stats. If you manage to deal the killing blow with your hero or one of the units under your control to any other unit or building, including other enemy heroes, you will get a bonus amount of gold. With a combination of experience gained from being near enemies that die, and gold from getting the last hits on enemies so that they die, you get a combination of stats on your hero, and the gold that is necessary to entertain one of the most fascinating and original parts of the AnarKings formula. One of the unique gameplay elements of AnarKings is that once you have gained access to gold, you don't use it to buy additional items for your hero with the sole purpose of giving them extra stats or even extra capabilities or extra elements through activatable items. No, in AnarKings you use the acquired gold that you have gained to purchase units and abilities. We can see over here that if you want to purchase these units and abilities, you'll have to do it from a different building depending on which side of the map you're on. If you're on the left side of the map, as we are looking at this player and they currently are, then the building you'll be looking at to do this is called the bar. If, however, you are on the right side, the building you'll be looking to do this from is called the crypt. Notice that both of these players have chosen to purchase a starting worker. Starting workers are a great way of reaching out into the gold mines of the map and mining some extra gold for another source of income inside of AnarKings. But there are a multitude of combat units that are inside of these bars and crypts as well that you can use to go ahead and achieve victory. However, I would be remiss if I were not to mention that it's not just units inside of the bars and crypts that you can purchase. In fact, even your ultimate ability is unlocked by paying for it inside of these bars and crypts, along with a final game-ending condition. One of the abilities that all players and teams have access to is called Power the Nexus. Remember the Nexus? It's this building right here. An observant person may note that it has 0 of 0 mana. Power the Nexus is a shared ability for your team. It is very expensive, but if your team manages to buy 10 copies of it, you will summon a mighty celestial that can bring forth devastation to your opponents and has huge buffs for your own allied units surrounding it. In AnarKings, it's possible that your hero is on the verge of death, or some of the units that you have paid great money to are about to die. If that's the case, don't worry. Both teams have access to a fountain located between two player-colored flags in their base. Notice that this player here has brought their soldier, who was low health, back to between their flags so that they could heal him up. And he has gone from a very piddling 5 to 10% to now going back out to full. This affects all of your units equitably. And so if you're ever worried that your units are going to die in AnarKings, you can just run back home. For those of you more familiar with other MOBAs, such as League of Legends, Dota 2, etc., you have to understand that there is not a warp back to base. You do have to manually travel, and this is part of the intentional design to make sure that AnarKings moves quickly and doesn't allow any kind of shenanigans oriented around the expenditure of resources, such as mana or time on cooldowns. If your hero ever dies in AnarKings, as happened to the player in this video, don't worry too much. One, because it's me, but two, because your heroes do in fact respawn. There will be a timer that is visible on this part of the screen right here to show you how many seconds it will take until your hero has respawned, revived, and is ready to get back into the fight. You don't lose any experience or gold whenever your hero dies, though your opponents will receive a hefty boon for killing your hero. You never decrease in power in AnarKings for your heroes specifically, so don't worry about that. But just know that losing your hero one time isn't the end of the game, and you can come back, even in a deficit. So welcome to AnarKings, and whether you win by supporting your team's waves, playing a purely defensive role at the Nexus, summoning a powerful Celestial, or rushing an ultimate with 3 of a single hero, any of these paths can be a path to victory in AnarKings. The goal is always the same. Go kill the enemy Nexus. And an upcoming video will introduce to you some of the deliberate, hidden, and the passive effects of each of the heroes and units, so you'll have a better understanding of how to do that. Good luck, and I hope to see you in the next one.